Hey, what's up, gang? You know what time it is? It's time for our new Strength Club workout. So we're going into August 2024. This is going to be our Strength Club workout for this month. We got two workouts. You guys know the drill here. We got two templates here. Now this is a little different setup than we've been working. Similar but different. So we're going to go through everything, talk about the exercises, and obviously when you guys have questions about this, reach out to those coaches as well. So you can see here, workout A, we have our first group of exercises that we use for our ramping. So getting our bodies moving a little bit, getting some joints lubed and feeling pretty comfortable here. So we start off with our hangs because we're going to work on that grip strength and that shoulder mobility along with decompressing that lower back. Long, deep breaths here, really trying to hold that, take a slow deep breath in, hold it for a few seconds, and then slowly push all that air out. Try to do this set in the least amount of breath as possible. Remember, if you need to, you're going to use that box for those toes to lighten up that load a little bit, but really challenge yourself for that 30 seconds here. Then the second exercise, we have it matched up with our TRX forward lunges. Now, we haven't done these in a while. Sometimes we'll do them in boot camp, but I think it's a great stretch and activation exercise. So remember here, you want to get set up in that moving plank position, almost like you're going to do a chest press, but not so deep here. You want to be almost upright, but tension in those bands, taking that big step forward, letting those bands open up. So you're going to feel that stretch through your chest on the way down. You're going to squeeze that back glute, taking that knee as close to the floor as you feel comfortable, feeling that stretch through the hip flexors. So we get a stretch through the chest and the hip flexors on the way down. Then we get to use those legs and those arms to pull ourselves back up here. So nice big deep breath in on the way down. Feel that stretch, pause, and then pull yourself back up using your whole body to do this here, getting those arms and legs moving together. So we're going to get 2 sets of both of those. Then we're going to move on to our next 2. So we're going to move over to the blue floor, and we have our sandbag chop and lift. We're going to have that bridge in here, right? So we're going to drive up through those heels, squeezing those glutes. Think about also like you're trying to pull those heels towards you, get those hamstrings working. Hips driven up, squeezing those glutes tight, and then we're going across our body here. So from one shoulder over to the other hip. Now, if you're feeling like you want to challenge that single leg exercise a little bit more, then you just lift that other leg up, and then you want to go across your body with this. Now, what I suggest you do is, and by suggestion I'm telling you this is what you should do and do it this way, is when the first set, you're just going to go one direction with the bag. Don't try to keep going side to side. Just go one shoulder to one hip. When we come back to this one, you'll go to the other side. So if you can do that single leg variation, do it. If you need to do both legs, that's fine as well. But on that first set, going one side across your body to one side, and then the next set, you're going to go to that other direction here. And then we're going to match that up with our rollouts. Again, I like a lot of members. I've seen a lot of improvement here. Now, improvement with this does take time because this is a tough exercise, but it's awesome seeing everybody getting better. So we're going to do this for another month. We're going to work through these. I really want you to challenge yourself. The biggest thing that we see a lot of people doing here is they start and finish in that tabletop position where they pull their hips back over their heels. I want you to try to feel like you're in a kneeling plank from the beginning, and then tuck your ribs, tuck your tailbone. So you can see here, it looks like my back is arched or it's rounded here as I'm pushing away. That's because I'm really trying to keep those abs engaged to protect my lower back. Start with a small range of motion, then explore what you can do. And remember, use the beam or a stop, like a little break, safety break there if you need to. But again, don't force the range of motion. See what you can do well. And obviously, if you need to, you're just going to go to that, hold that plank for that 30 seconds. So a couple good core exercises here to get those glutes and abs working for us and everything. So 2 sets of those, and then we're going to move on. Now, the last few months, actually the last 12 months or more, we've been going to a total body exercise, like a power exercise, and matching that up with something else that's a dynamic exercise. Well, for this month, we're actually going to move those exercises into what would be considered our strength training for this month. So we're going to be going to supersets again, which for those of you that don't know, a superset is 2 exercises done back to back with as little rest in between as possible. A lot of times we like to match up complementary exercises to kind of build some endurance, and that's what we're going to do here in a sense. But we're also going to add in some power to these. So for this one, the first exercise is going to be done for 5 to 8 reps, which means a weight that you can do only 5 to 8 reps. And if you can do 8 reps with that weight, you can consider making it heavier. But what we're really focused on is whether it's the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th rep, it feels like the last good rep you can do, but we're going to leave like one muscled up rep in exchange or in reserve there. So you want to make sure, hey, I might be able to do just one more rep, but it's probably not going to look good. that's where you're gonna stop with that weight. So if it's 5 rep weight, that's fine. If it's 8, that's fine. Anywhere in between. Then we're gonna go to the second exercise, and this is where we want to keep the weight on these a little bit lighter so that we can move with power and speed. So this first one here, we have our hip bridge rows. This is our TRX hip bridge row. Remember, so you're gonna get set up under the suspension trainer, driving those hips up, squeezing those glutes nice and tight here, pulling your chest and ribs up towards your hands here. If you need to, you can lower those hips down and use that hip bridge for momentum to pull yourself up. And then if anybody wants to try the sit back rows, we can show you those as well, but not necessary here. What I want you to focus on is getting directly under. Now, to make this more challenging, you walk your feet further away from your hips. So that's going to give you less support. It's going to make you feel a little bit heavier, and that's how we can make it a little more challenging. If you are struggling to get your chest up to your hands, that's how we know that you're strong enough to do this exercise from that position. If you're not getting your chest to your hands, you want to turn around and work a traditional TRX row, but just step in as far as you feel like you can to get those quality reps in. And if you need to, just put that 1 foot back. So we're going to go 5 to 8 challenging reps here. Then you're going to head right over to the ski erg, and you're going to get 10 reps in on that ski erg. So here, this is where we're thinking power and speed. I want you to pull hard. Now, it's not about getting the reps or the set done fast. It's about doing each rep as fast and as hard as you can. Reset, so you can see how T is pausing at the bottom for a second. Now she's going to come back up and pull as hard as she can back down, right? So we're loading and then pulling here. We're going to get 10 good reps in. Just think 1 rep at a time. And I want you to track the meters that you get in those 10 pulls. So again, you're going to go boom, boom, right back and forth between those two. Then we're going to move on to the next set of exercises here. So for our next group, we have our deadlifts, and we're going to match that up with our sled push and drag. So whether you want to use the kettlebells or trap bar, you can see here Coach Matt working that trap bar deadlift. Where he's got his chest up, nice flat back, slight arching if you need to. Driving up, squeezing those glutes nice and tight. You can also notice here Coach Matt is not bending his elbows and pulling himself down before he pulls up. He's keeping a little bit of tension in that bar because that's going to keep that impact off that lower back, because that little jolt that you get when you try to load up and then pull hard only puts more stress on those shoulders and back. So get a little bit of tension in that bar so you can control the weight the entire time. Drive up, squeeze those glutes. Now, if you want to do the kettlebell deadlifts, we have those. You can get set up there as well. The point here is that you want to find a weight that you can do 5 to 8 challenging reps. I also feel like on the deadlifts, I want you to err on the side of going lighter rather than heavier. So if you're having a day where you're not quite sure about the weight and you know how you're feeling, go lighter so that you can, get a set under your belt and see what it feels like, because then you can always take the weight up. But err on the side of going a little bit lighter to get started with these, and then pick up that intensity if you're feeling more comfortable. Then from there, so we got 5 to 8 challenging reps. From there, we're gonna head over to that sled, and we're gonna push that sled down the floor, and then we are gonna drag it back. So when you're working this, again, we want the weight feeling lighter on this. I don't want you to feel like you're laboring to push the weight. I want you to feel like the effort isn't to push the weight fast down the floor. So keep it lighter here. You, should not have to stop at any point during it. And you should also feel like those feet are moving fast the entire time. Now, it's going to get challenging because you've already worked those muscles before you get over to this one. And as you're pushing and dragging it, that fatigue is going to set in a little bit there because those muscles are working. Big, proud chest on the way back, toe to heel, and just think fast movement here as you're pushing that sled down and back. So 5 to 8 reps on those deadlifts, over to the sled. Then we're going to move on to the third superset, our last one of this workout. And we're moving over to the bench here. So we have our bench press. We're going for 5 to 8 reps on this one. Like, I know we've worked this exercise this month, or this past month in July. Now I want you to kind of build on that. So if you've been working an 8 rep weight, it might be time to take that weight up and make it a 5 rep weight, or you can stick with the challenge, whatever weight challenges you the most for 5 to 8 reps. Focus on that form, and then we're going to go right from those 5 to 8 reps into a step up press here. So this is more of a total body exercise, but what I want you to focus on as you're working your step up press is the speed at which you perform each rep. So just like the skier, it's not about getting the set done fast. I want you to feel like you're working that rep as fast as you can. So err on the side of keeping it just a little bit lighter, and then drive up on that leg, use that momentum to throw that dumbbell up to the ceiling. Now, also, you should feel like you can, with the leg the momentum you're getting from that leg, you can go just a little bit heavier with that press than a strict press. But again, start with something that you feel confident with, even that's a little bit lighter. And then if you're feeling like, hey, I can go heavier, we'll find out, because we're going to use that first week to find out the right weights and learn the program. Week 2, we refine it. Weeks 3 and 4 is when we can really challenge ourselves because we know what we're doing. So we got 3 of those supersets. We're going to get 2 to 3 sets in. I want you to give yourself a minute or 2 to recover between sets, because no matter what style of workout we're doing, when we're strength training, you should feel like the intensity is so high by the end of that set that you need a minute or 2 to recover before you move to the next one. So challenge yourself during doing the work, and then give yourself some time to recover. We'll get 2 to 3 sets in by that 4th week. I know that everybody will probably have a little bit more time because everybody's learning what we're doing. Once we get those 2 to 3 sets in, we're going to move on to our finisher here. And again, because we got a lot of power and speed stuff working in the strength sets, we're going to focus a little bit of strength here at the end as well, which you guys are familiar with these combinations. The first one on this workout is going to be chin-ups, swings, and the echo bike. So we're going 5 to 10 chin-ups. Again, here, err on the side of making it lighter so you can get that full range of motion. You will get more out of a full range of motion pull-up, even if it feels a little bit easier or using less assistance than you will out of a very hard pull-up where you're not actually getting that range of motion we're looking for. So don't be afraid. You got to let the ego go here. You will get stronger faster if you make sure it's a weight that you can do very well. So 5 to 10 reps. And then we move over to those kettlebell swings. Now you can do those dead stop swings here like Coach Cat's performing, hiking each time, really ramping up to throw that kettlebell across the room. You can also go with those repetitions where you're not going to park that kettlebell each time. You're just going to squeeze those glutes at the top, play chicken with that bell on the way down, and then drive those heels into the floor here. So it's either 5 dead stop swings or 10 repetitions, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. I also say for this one, because we worked deadlifts this day already, keep that kettlebell lighter on this finisher and focus on your form and power and speed out of those swings, not trying to muscle a heavy weight. You will get more out of it if you just do what I'm telling you to. No, just kidding. But no, actually, well, I'm not joking. I'm making a joke out of something I believe. But do what I tell you, you're going to get more out of it. Err on the side of keeping it lighter, keep yourself safe, and let's focus on crisp reps and quality reps there. And then our last exercise, we're heading over to that bike. So this one, we're going 5 calories as hard as you can. Again, I know this is tough. It's a tough thing it's really tough to finish on the echo bike in these workouts because of the work you've done. But it also is going to give us that cardiovascular impact that we're looking for here. So it's only 5 calories. Have that goal for yourself where you're trying to, reach at whatever time it is, whether you've been doing 19 seconds or 12 seconds, now you're trying to get to 18 or 11. It's not going to happen every time, that's okay, but have that challenge for yourself so you really try to get the most out of those. We're going to go through this 2 to 3 times. For most people, 2 sets is going to be plenty. Some days you might have the energy for 3, so that's going to be up to you. 2 to 3 times through that, and then we're done for this workout. So we got a lot of stuff that we're going to pack into this workout. I'm really excited about it. I love these combinations. It's really cool to see people be able to work on a little bit more power and speed and not just those heavy weights at times. So hope you guys are as excited about this as I am. Like I said at the beginning, if you have questions about these exercises, please comment, ask questions, reach out to the coaches, let us know how we can help you, and let's have a great month, everybody. Love you, bye.